One of them was about stripping school boards of curriculum powers. Say elected officials approved AB 1078, saying that it was designed to stop book banning in California's schools, and it will serve as a local control over curriculum and seriously limit parents' rights to have a say in what is taught in schools. So it seems like a lot of people claim that the names of the bills and the way that they draft them are deceiving to voters, and they sound good, but in actuality and in the way they're put into practice, they're not.
Exactly. The language that is used in writing, and as legislators write them, what are they? Legalese, I guess, is what they're basically calling it. Most people don't understand all of this, so they're not going to be able to say, oh, wait a minute, this bill is not right, because they throw so many different verbiages in there that you really don't know what it is, and then suddenly it's too late.
Sure. So what was this book banning bill about
book banning,
then?
well, for instance, I did some book investigation on it, and one of the books that I pulled out was You Can Do Anything. Well, yeah, you can, which had to do with Johnny is 10 and this girl is 10, and they want to, you can do anything because you can pull, you can get an erection and you can do all that. But the book itself was very deceiving until you open the cover.
Okay.
So when they talk about banning books, those are the books that I want banned out of school. They don't need to be there. They shouldn't be there.
Okay.
They have no reason to be teaching a child 10 years old. If you're telling me that a child can't think for themselves, whatever it may be, up until a certain age, then why are you going to give a child who is who's curious, who is who's going to look at this and say, well, really? Very curious? No, it doesn't belong.
Sure. What about an issue that is coming up more and more, which relates to transgender, and specifically in bathroom areas and locker rooms, and allowing transgender men, women to be elope with the opposite biological sex?
I've had one experience so far with a transgender reaching. You're in a grocery store and you're not really paying attention. You're reaching for the handle on the door for a cooler, and someone else is reaching at the same time. Hairy arm. It's like, sorry, man. I don't know if I said sorry, dude, or whatever it was, and turns around and said, I'm a woman, and it didn't go well from there, because I simply said, no, you're not. You are male. And he said, I'm not a man. I said, no. And I know it was for me, maybe it's because of who I am, but I don't tolerate it per se, because I said, no, I will never accuse you of being a man, but you are male. You were born a male. I don't care what you do. And I turned around and there was women, and I said, here's a woman, here's a woman, here's a woman, here's a man. You are mentally disturbed. You're ill. You need to seek help. And I said, we're done. And I tried to walk away. I've found that they get, and I've seen it more than once, to where they become very aggressive. You will call me a woman. No, I will not. So we'll just say it didn't go well.
Yeah, I understand. Very strong stance on that issue.
I do.
And we'll let the voters decide for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one was eliminating discipline in schools, which was SB 274. You say that they are basically banning suspensions of students who engage in willful defiance. I'm guessing your position is that allowing this kind of bad behavior will disrupt the experience for good students in the schools.
It will, and having been, I've seen it when I was an instructor teaching grades K through 5, and you have, you're going into a classroom to take care of a computer that's not functioning or whatever it may be, and seeing a sixth grader standing up on top of a desk disrupting the entire class, and the teacher's going, you really can't do that. You need to sit down. They should have been removed, suspended, done. Have school police come in and escort that child, call the parents, your child is doing this. But there's another side of that, because I have done that. I've taken a child out of a classroom where I was at, where I had to work on a computer and it happened to be on that particular desk, and they're throwing things, and the child was removed, taken, but the parent comes in and says, not my child. My child wouldn't do that. I'm sorry, yes, your child did do that.
Yeah.
So, it's frustrating because you don't know which way to go on that.
Sure. It seems like in general there's a lot of handcuffs being put on teachers. They're not allowed to tell parents if there's a gender identity issue, even if they would want to with AB 1955. They're not allowed to properly discipline students.
Correct.
When you're out talking to teachers and members of the CTA, are you seeing any change in sentiment? Do they feel like the state is putting laws in place that are empowering them and allowing them to control their classroom?
From what I've seen,
because they've been very strong supporters of the Democrat Party for a very long time, and I'm just curious because I don't know.
Well, for instance, we're losing a lot of the good teachers because there are many times, which I wasn't aware of until a number of years ago, whereas the district hands down, this is your curriculum, this is what you're going to teach, this is how you're going to do it. Teachers who turn around and say, wait, that is not going to help my class, it doesn't really apply to my students. If they change the curriculum and they want to teach, they want to give an education, they're told, no, you're not. So it's not always just the teacher, it's actually the school district itself, because they're the ones who are authorizing the bad behavior. They're authorizing, telling the teacher, you will teach this way, and that's it, or you will lose your job. And I've had teachers who did lose their job over that.